Black art perspective is a ancestor culture African heritage base. Although Black History Month is over with, there is still a lot to be said about Black people, my ancestors, and there is a story to be told because stories that I'm about to share with you is not told in the public schools, the high school, or in college. So I want to tell you a story through my eyesight, through a art perspective. I have a Facebook, which is called Melvin's African Culture Art, and a website, blackartperspective.com. My motto is like us, review us, and refer us. So I want to be sharing with you various parts of what I am doing as far as sharing, telling my story about Black history. But before I do so, my name is Melvin Isaac. I'm a professional artist, a certified community producer at Brick Arts Medium, and I have a show entitled Artistic Talent, which comes on every Monday and Wednesday, 1 a.m., 11 a.m., and again at 4 p.m. on Cable Vision 68 and Verizon 50 42 and 43. So here's what I'm about to do. I want to share my story through art. And I want to break up this screen that we're on right now, where you're going to see me basically drawing a series of art to depict what the story that I want to reveal to you. Now, it's going to be on a canvas, an oil canvas, 16 by 20. And we're going to start with part one. Now, I might do that, and either the medium might be either oil base or might be acrylic, whichever one, because the oil base takes a little longer to dry, but the acrylic takes a shorter time. So, starting off with part one, which is going to be revealed how my ancestors, how Black people was enforced, was brought here as property from our homeland in Africa. So we was taken from our homeland and with shackles on, ropes, wood on our neck, all kinds of stuff, because we was brought from other people to do this, whether they brought them who was sold from our own homeland, a trade of probably alcohol or some other stuff that they needed, and we were sold to the white man, which brought us here. So that's in part one that I want to be drawing. And part two, I will show you on the Mayflower. So on there, you will see us in the Mayflower and how we was treated like less than human. Wasn't even human to them. It was terrible. Some of us didn't make it because if we got sick or things wasn't going, they just throw overboard and we died. So that's in part two. Part three is when we landed on the American soil, and then we was brought to the auction block. We had a whole bunch, a lot of white people around, plantation owners, and they was bidding on us. Kids, mothers, young, old, as property. Now, once they have us as their property, they will divide us to either the field or the house. Now, that would be part four, which would be pick cotton. And they would have a overseas, which is our own people, on a horse with a whip, watching over us. They would put him in a better shack away from us, and he would be completely control of us. Part five would be in the house, where some of us was used as maids, servants, whatever they need us to do, they would have us do. Even the women, they would have sex with them. Because we was, as far as they're concerned, their property. Number six, we had a person that revoked called Nat Turner. And he went around and killed so many of massacred so many of the plantation owners' family because he couldn't take it anymore. He figured that he had a vision, and these are things that would stop them from doing what they was doing to us, that we didn't have that strength to revolt. Although he got caught, but before he got caught, they killed a lot of us to get him. So the last part would be part seven, and that's when we have the Willie Lynch syndrome or Willie Lynch book. And there, Willie Lynch is another slave owner, which they call him the master, because he shared with his other slave owner in Virginia at the James River, and he showed them that the way you control your slaves is to do certain things, and then they would obey you for at least 300 to 400 years. And a few things he did, but I want to just share with you a couple of them. Major thing he did was put fear into blacks. The way he put fear into them to show them, it took a woman, black woman, and she was pregnant, and ripped her stomach open and ripped the baby out, where showed everybody, where they told them, if you ever turn against us or do anything revolt, this would happen to you. This is what we would do. They had so much fear that they would. They said to them, they said, "You, I don't care what you do, but you would always fear us because you know what we would do to you. If you try to run away, we hang you." So that was the most serious stuff that they did to put fear in us, which lasted over 300, 400 years, even to this day. They had us so confused and feared that you see some of us and how that happened because you had the white slave owner had sex with a lot of us, and the baby came out lighter. And they had them turn against us, which is still resembles now. You got light skinned ones against the darker ones. The light-skinned ones have a little longer, nice hair, and the blacks have the kinky hair. So even to today, you have blacks still trying to look white because it's commercialized, and they call it horsehair or something. But anyway, it's all of these things that they had us so brainwashed and confused that we would deny ourselves. We don't want to be black anymore. And they would want to be white. So these are one of the biggest things, or few things that they did to us. And it continue on this way. We hear some of us, even the guys, when we would never want to rob them or do anything against them because it's in your bloodstream. So you have a lot of blacks committing crimes, going to jail, blase, blase. But you don't hear them mess with any of them. And the white people, they would commit crimes against their own. So you have all of this that's going on because uh, we haven't had this taught to us in history in the schools. So we don't have that much knowledge of who we are and how we got here, or who did what to us to mess us up like this. So that was just my story to share with you. So now we're gonna show you, or I'm gonna show you uh, each time I do a painting, which is gonna be part one, and it's gonna be a split screen, and I will be talking about what I'm doing with that painting, because that'll be part one. I'm using a very good Bristol brush, a wide Bristol brush, where I can get the basic the whole width. So just the sky. And once that dry, I will come back with the trees. It's easy peasy. So we got some blues in here and white. Okay, that should do it. And just to let you know, I'm doing the side of the canvas as well, because I'm not sure if I want to put a frame on it, but most people, they buy their own frame. But to make it complete, I do the side. So then that canvas is completed. Okay, so this is just about finished with the background. Nice blue color. Okay, so I want to dip this in some water, and then we're going to start with the trees.
Okay. Now in the trees, basically, I'm going to use a wide brush again, and use the same brush. Give it a few more minutes to dry. Okay, so we're going to lay down our foundation now for the green. Got green and yellow. And I'm just going to sweep across here with green and yellow. And then I can come with a smaller brush to get the fine details. Makes that much easier. And you'll see in a second. Like I said, easy peasy. Once you lay it out the right way, it'll all come right. Bring this up a little bit more. You're going to see how all this is going to unfold in a minute. Give it a second. And then you'll see. Get a little bit of darks in here. Do my darks now. Makes it easier when I start putting these in there. Okay, it's about. Let's say easy peasy. Okay, this is just about the way I want it. Yep, just about there. Okay, here we go. Okay. Okay, now I'm dipping this in some water, my brush, and I'm gonna let that sit for a few minutes. And come back with the detail of the trees. Pluck them out now. All right, let me see if we're ready here. I'm gonna start from left to right. Just the details. Watch out, them trees gonna come light. Let's see. See how the details of the trees will start to pluck out. I did. And this is with a Bristol round brush. Not the wide one. It's a smaller one. All you do is just give it some detail. Pluck it out. Pluck out the branches. See how they start coming light? This one. See how I started out at first with the background first, the sky, because you don't have to go back anymore. You did what you had to do. Now, all I'm doing now is bringing out the trees. See how beautiful that starts to look? Yeah, it's going to be some of the trunks of the trees. That gives it more definition. And we can still see some parts of it you can see through. So let's bring some yellow in there, a little bit of yellow in there. Light. Okay. It's coming to an end. Remember, I'm working with the acrylic. Acrylic dries quick. So, gotta be mindful that you can't stay with this too long. Okay, let me get some of this over here. Let me see here. I think we can get one of these right here and put a up there. Some up there.